And welcome everyone to Celebration Center for Spiritual Living on this beautiful, wet, rainy Sunday morning here in Falls Church, Virginia. I am just so happy that it's not snowing or freezing or sleeting, that I will take the rain with the temperature being in the 40s. I'm happy that it's warming up just a little tiny bit. So if you are here for the first time, if you're watching on Facebook Live, or if you're here on Zoom for the first time, I want to give you an extra special welcome today. I'm super happy to see all of these familiar faces on Zoom. I'm kind of scrolling through right now. And as y'all know, we have started stating our vision statement together every Sunday. And I wanted to let y'all know, the vision, mission, and purpose of an organization is really where we're all heading together, right? And I talked about that a few Sundays ago. But every single decision that we're making as an organization, as the leadership council, myself, y'all, all of that should be based against, is this in support of this vision that we're all saying that we're heading towards together? And so that's why I have us saying this vision together every single Sunday, is because I want us constantly reminded of where we're all going together. And I'm pleased to announce I've been doing some of the community calls with all of y'all, that this vision is very alive for this community, which makes me super happy because I really love it as well. So without further ado, Ivor is going to put up our vision and say it together with me. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And so every decision that your leadership council is making, every decision that I am making, we are checking in with ourselves. Are we celebrating spirit? Is this in alignment with knowing the oneness of humanity? And if it's not, we don't make that decision. So anyways, I would like to invite our music director, Lynn Hollyfield, and the All Angles to open us with some music.
Okay, we are going to start with an Eddie Watkins Jr. tune called Free, and the words are in the chat box. So join in if you know it. Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the music carry me. Free from pain and suffering, free from mistakes from the past. Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the Spirit carry me.
Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the music carry me. Free from rage and anger, free from all resentment. Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the Spirit carry me.
Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the music carry me. Free from unforgiveness, free from controlling judgment. Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the Spirit carry me.
Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the music carry me. Free from limited thinking, free from things that no longer serve me. Free, 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 free to let it be. I open up my heart and let the Spirit carry me.
Free, 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 free to let it be.
I open up my heart and let the music carry me.
Free, 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 free to let it be.
I open up my heart and let the Spirit carry me.
Thank you, All Angles. That was beautiful. I just love the way that we do music here, and that our amazing music director has figured out how to carry that percussion line through and get everybody involved. I love that so much. And it's very unique to the center. I haven't been to another virtual service that has figured this out yet. So we are very blessed to have All Angles and to have Lynn as the music director. And now I would like to invite Rich Kershevitz. I think I got it right. Ivor's nodding. He's nodding with the sort of. As our practitioner and platform today, he's going to tell us a little more about practitioners, and he also has a reading for us. So Rich K, I invite you to join.
Good morning, everyone. As Reverend Chris said, my name is Rich Kershevitz, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at CCSL. Practitioners are taught to pray by seeing and knowing the truth in any situation. We used to have green prayer cards, but now in this time of Zoom, later on, Ivor will show you on the screen where on the main website where you can submit a prayer request. Those prayer requests go to the Ministry of Prayer and the practitioners, and they get prayed on for the entire week. So if you have a request for yourself or for others to change a situation, or just to express gratitude and appreciation for what you have, you can submit a prayer request. Since this is the February is the month of celebrating Black History Month, I've been asked to speak about a Black author. Well, I digressed a little bit, and I picked somebody that made an impact recently. Is watching a movie with him, and that's Denzel Washington. So Denzel Washington was born in 1954 in Mount Vernon, New York, grew up in Harlem. His mother was a beauty salon owner, and his father was a Pentecostal minister, as well as a civil servant. At age 14, they divorced, and his mother had the foresight to send him off to Oakland Military Academy, which he says saved his life, because all of his friends at that time ended up in the penitentiary. He went to Fordham University, got interested in theater during the summer, and later on went on to get a master's in a conservatory in San Francisco. He got his first big break was playing a doctor on St. Elsewhere, if anybody remembers that. And then after that, he got into the movies and made it big time. He's an American actor, director, and producer. He has been described as an actor who reconfigured the concept of classic movie stardom, associating with characters defined by their grace, dignity, humanity, and inner strength. He has received 17 NAACP Image Awards, 3 Golden Globe Awards. He, in fact, was the first Black since Sidney Poitier in 1963 to get nominated for a Golden Globe. 1 Tony Award for Fences, and 2 Academy Awards, Best Supporting Actor for playing Union Army soldier Private Tripp in the historical drama film Glory, and Best Actor for his role as a corrupt detective Alonzo Harris in the crime thriller Training Day. In 2020, the New York Times ranked him as the greatest actor of the 21st century. He received much critical acclaim for his film work since the 1980s, including his portrayal of real life figures such as South African anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko, who cried freedom, civil rights activist and Muslim minister Malcolm X in Malcolm X, boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter in The Hurricane, football coach Herman Boone in Remember the Titans, poet and educator Melvin B. Tolson in The Great Debaters, and drug kingpin Frank Lucas in American Gangster, which is Irina's favorite movie, by the way. In 2016, he received the Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award, the 73rd Golden Globe Awards. In 2002, he made his directorial debut in a biographical film, Antoine Fisher. Second directorial effort was The Great Debaters. His third film, Fences, in which he also starred, was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. So he has a stellar career, but what's even more interesting, he is a big philanthropist, and he's received several honorary degrees, and he's given commencement speeches. And one of them, he gave at Dillard College in Louisiana, which was the first in New Orleans, which is the first historically Black college in Louisiana. And he said, there are three things in life you need to do to be successful. Number one, put God first. Put God first in everything you do, everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. He said, I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God. Number two, fail big. That's right, fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life. And you only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline every day. So continue to strive to have goals, continue to progress. Number three, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it, they got robbed. That's all they got. You can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, lawyers, scientists, etc. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is to help someone else. Why is this selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. It's the joy. That's where the joy is, in helping others. That's where the success is, in helping others. Finally, I pray that you put your slippers away under the bed tonight, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And while you're down there, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. And anything that you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back, pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. Let's take a deep breath. Let it out. Let all the cares out of the week, the weather, the upcoming week. Another deep breath. Let it out. And know that as we are breathing in unison, we are breathing with one power, one presence, one God, one mind, one life. For God is all there is. God is the power and the presence. God is all good, pure love, eternal, and immortal. God is all there is, and I am that I am. I am one with the power and presence. I am a co-creator. I am one with the Father in the entire universe. I am perfect, whole, and complete. And just as I am perfect, whole, and complete, each and every one is perfect, whole, complete, eternal, and immortal. I declare that each and everyone commits to making this Easter season a season for spiritual rebirth and growth, to know the truth that sets us free. I know that we are all part of one mind, one body, and one spirit, as we are motivated and impelled by love in all of our thoughts and actions. I know that when we know the truth, we live a life full of the blessings we desire, filled with peace, love, joy, and abundance. I declare that we live a life filled with gratitude for all the good and blessings already in our lives, and that we wish only peace, love, joy, and abundance for all. We know that the law fulfills our desires and unites us fully with the one presence and power. I know that as we open and raise our consciousness, we are divinely guided, directed, led, and protected to our highest good and greatest yet to be, as the activity of God as love in the world. I'm so very grateful for the good that surrounds us, is within us, and is revealed through the activity of God as love in our lives. I'm so grateful for the truth that sets us free so that we live the life of our desires. I'm so very grateful for the gratitude that we express for all these blessings, which are our divine inheritance. And I release my word unto the law, where it's already known in the mind of God and is assured of fulfillment. This is the word of God and will not return unto me void. I do give thanks that this is so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Rich, and thank you for that wonderful quote by Denzel Washington on how he lived his life and lives his life and all of the amazing things that he has done. And now we have a video for our special feature music by Melissa and Z. They are ministers as well as musicians, and they have a focus ministry called Oh My God Life, based out of California, but it's a virtual ministry. And this song, when I heard the topic, Journey to Freedom, and I know we're celebrating Black History Month, this song really spoke to me. It's one of my favorites that they do. So enjoy.
Story. When Harriet Tubman first escaped from slavery, she heard a voice that said, "I want you to help free others." Do you know what Harriet Tubman said to that voice? She said, "No." She said, "Not me." She said, "I can't. I can't." But the voice wouldn't let up. It wouldn't let her be. "I want you to help free others. I want you to help free others." Finally, Harriet Tubman, the woman who would be known as Moses, said yes. Yes. Walk by faith, not by sight. Moses walked in the middle of the night, step by step. She followed a voice. She couldn't shut it off. She didn't have a choice. It told her when to move. It told her when to weight. She was walking in its footsteps. She was walking in its grace. It wasn't just her people Moses led through the night. It was anyone who's ever walked by faith and not by sight.
You've gotta walk by faith, not by sight. Listening every step of the way. Walk on into the night. Let that northern star be your guiding light.
True story. Harriet Tubman, with the help of the Union Army, once freed 750 slaves in one day. Can you imagine? 750 people. She liberated an entire plantation. The voice of spirit doesn't mess around. When you listen to that voice, you are never the same. When you listen to that voice, you are free. And it doesn't stop there. You take others with you. The 750 are still alive today. They're your sisters and your brothers in struggle and in pain. They're your doubts and your fears when you say, I can't, but you can. And you will. When you walk by faith, not by sight. Moses walked in the middle of the night, step by step. She followed a voice. She couldn't shut it off. She didn't have a choice. It told her when to move. It told her when to wait. She was walking in its footsteps. She was walking in its grace. It wasn't just her people Moses led through the night. It was anyone who's ever walked by faith and not by sight.
You've gotta walk by faith, not by sight. Listening every step of the way. Walk on into the night. Let that northern star be your guiding light. No matter where your journey is starting from, there is a voice calling you, yeah, taking you home. You've gotta walk
By faith, not by sight.
not
Moses
by
walked in the night,
sight.
step by
Listen
step.
every step
Followed
of
the
the
voice.
way.
Couldn't shut it off. She didn't have a choice.
Walk
When to
on
wait, she was walking
into
in its
the
footsteps. She
night.
was walking in its
Let
grace.
that
It wasn't just the
northern
people
star
Moses led through the night.
be
It
your
was anyone
guiding
who's ever walked by
light.
faith and not by sight.
Walk on into the night. Let that northern star be your
Moses led
guiding
through the night.
light.
It was anyone who's ever walked by faith and not by sight.
Aren't they amazing? So they just a little more information. They come around, they go to centers and travel, obviously not during COVID, but in normal times, in typical times, whatever that may look like in the future, they travel around. They actually just got an RV to travel in with their cat Max, and they are planning an East Coast trip, and I've already let them know that they can come on a Sunday and do the whole service, all the music and all the talk and everything. They're really an incredible duo. So that's something to look forward to, probably like the fall or next spring even. It's going to be a little while before spring, like a year and a little bit from now. So I love this song because to me, that journey to freedom really is a faith journey, right? And in Harriet Tubman's case, it was truly a journey. And what I think about, last week I talked a little bit about mythologizing our lives and telling our stories and what stories are serving us and what stories to tell. And so this week, when I saw this title of Journey to Freedom, what immediately came to my mind is the hero's journey. And in the hero, we are all heroes in our own lives, and we all have hero's journeys that we can think back on, and maybe we didn't see it when we were in it, or maybe it felt very mundane or very, worldly, but now looking back on it with this perspective that 2020 is hindsight, we can see how these journeys that we have taken over our lives have been this hero's journey. And so in this hero's journey, you have a person and they have a call to adventure. Something happens that makes them step up and go out into the world. And there is a threshold where you pass, or the person, whoever it is, passes from the known into the unknown. And from there are helpers that come along, there are mentors, there's probably some temptation to quit in the middle of there and just go home. There is usually a monster. And then at the bottom, there's this death, a death of who the person was, and a rebirth into the next greatest of this person, a transformation, and then a return home. And so we can find this hero's journey not only in our own lives, but all over the place. Think of every superhero movie ever. All of the myths and the Odyssey, the Iliad, Black Panther, all of the Marvel movies, just it comes up all over the place. And this is Joseph Campbell's work, if you're interested to look up more, this idea of the hero's journey. But what I love to think about is, what hero's journeys have I taken in my life? And, what was that call, that next sort of call to adventure? One of them that's very easy for me to see is my move to California, and then even my move back here. There was this call. I had to step outside of the known. And I was a different person by the time I landed in California, and by the time I landed here than I was when I left. And that's the beauty of the hero's journey, is it's this evolution, and it looks like a circle, but really it's a spiral. We're ever spiraling up into our next highest evolution of ourselves. Now, the story of Harriet Tubman, Irina talked about a few weeks ago. And this woman was incredible. But what I love about this story is that after she completed her own hero's journey, after she completed her journey to freedom, she was so committed to freedom, the idea of freedom, that she returned back and saved over 800 people from slavery. She brought over 800 people out of slavery on over 13 trips, and an expedition as the first woman, not Black woman, just woman, period, to lead an army expedition in which she freed a whole plantation, like it talks about in that song. She was so committed to this journey to freedom that not only was she willing to risk her life over and over and over in this rebirth and transformation, but she also was willing to be that mentor and that helper and that teacher to 800 other people in their own hero's journeys. That is a heck of a commitment to freedom. And it's so profound to me. Ernest Holmes says, "The road to freedom lies not through mysteries or occult performances, but through the intelligent use of nature's forces and laws. The law of mind is a natural law in the spiritual world." It's a little heady. But where I go to with that, when we're talking about Harriet Tubman, when she was a child in slavery, an overseer got angry and threw something at another slave, and it hit her in the head. And she had brain trauma as a result of that for the rest of her life. She had dizziness and pain and spells of hypersomnia when she slept a lot. And she she said that that was part of what made her so mystical, that brain trauma that caused these things that we might look at as a disability is actually what caused her to be so connected to spirit that she was able to lead these people, and she truly did follow her intuition there was something guiding her and all of these people on another level outside of our, finite consciousness that was guiding her to freedom. And the beauty is that we all have that access to that thing, that consciousness that is greater than who we are. And we can use it as we complete these evolutions of this hero's journey. We can use it over and over and over again. I'm going to talk a little bit about facing our fears. And because part of this hero's journey is there's usually a monster. There's a super villain or a monster, or, in the Odyssey, Odysseus gets blown off course because they open the bag of winds and they have to travel around for 20 more years. It's not an easy journey. This journey isn't roses and butterflies. It's even, the Wizard of Oz. It's follow the yellow brick road, and it seems so easy and fun. And there's people sing, the Ozians are singing them along, and then it gets hard, right? There's a witch, and there's the dark forest, and all this stuff is happening. There's these monsters, and we have to face those in order to get through this hero's journey, in order to get to that other side where freedom is. That other side where freedom is, but it's all here. Freedom's here now, right? We have to face those fears. And it may feel like death. I'm watching a show right now called The Magicians. It's a little violent, so if you're not into that, don't start it, but it is really good. And there's a lot of metaphysical stuff in it. And there's a part in the show where one of the main characters, Elliot, it's a magic show, so we're getting a little out there, but he was possessed by this monster for months. His body was possessed, and they got rid of it. It was the season finale, very exciting. And then all of a sudden there was this door in his mind, and knocking and knocking and knocking, and there was writing, "Let me out," that was like showing up on these walls, and like all this crazy stuff. And he thought the monster was still there. He thought that a piece of the monster was still inside of him, and he was terrified. And so he's talking to his friend Josh, and and he's telling him, I think the monster is still inside of me. And Josh is like, "No, that's not possible. You remember the season finale? Like, we got rid of that monster." And he's like, "No, I think this monster is still inside of me. It wants out. It's knocking on the doors of my mind." And Josh says, "Have you tried letting it out?" And Elliot says, "Why in God's name would I do that? Right? Why would I let the monster out?" And Josh replies, "I'm just spitballing, but a lot of the time in these movies, the solution to the problem is facing the thing you're most afraid of." And my mind, I had to pause. I was like, yes, because isn't that true in our lives too? I cannot be truly free if I am unwilling to look and at an aspect of myself or my life. We have to face the thing that we're most afraid of. And I love how Elliot replied. Elliot said, "What if I die?" And Josh said, "What if you do?" And it truly feels that way. It feels like death. And because of the way that we are hardwired to fight, flight, or freeze if something is scary. It feels like death. And it may be something that is truly life-threatening, but more often than not, this thing that feels like death is something that is not actually life-threatening, but it feels that way. It's our money situation, or it's our health, or it's our relationships, or it's our career. And facing this thing head on while it may feel like death, what it really is it's that rebirth and that transformation into the next highest evolution of who we are. So we have to be willing to allow the part of ourselves that no longer serves us to die. We have to be willing to open that door to the thing that we are most afraid of. And when he opened the door, he did go in and open the door. It wasn't the monster at all. And it ended up being the very thing that was needed to save the world in this particular instance, because they're, constant for 5 seasons, they just save the world over and over again. It's the whole premise of the show. And it took him being willing to face that thing that scared him the most, that thing that scared him so much he was unwilling to even talk about it with anyone. He had to go and open that door and face what was behind the door. Ernest Holmes says, freedom means to eliminate from consciousness all those things which bind and limit the free flowing of the divine spirit through us, and at the same time to exercise the faculty of personal choice. And so what that says to me, it means to eliminate from consciousness all those things which bind and limit the free flowing of the divine spirit. I cannot eliminate things that I refuse to look at. Kimberly Crenshaw, who is a social justice activist, says, if you won't label a problem, you can't solve it, because if it's not labeled, you can't see it. And if you can't see it, you can't solve it. We have to be willing to face that thing, whatever it may be. And so, like Harriet Tubman, I ask you, how committed to freedom are you? How committed to freedom within yourself are you? The definition of freedom, the typical one that we all think of, the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. But then this is the definition I like more: the state of not being subject to or affected by a thing. So in that definition, it doesn't actually matter what's going on in my outside world, because I can be free in my own mind, in my own consciousness, and not be subjected to or affected by anything that is going on externally. And that is where the power lies. And that is the commitment to freedom that we get to. That is how I must show up and be so committed to freedom that nothing disturbs my peace, that nothing, regardless of circumstances, regardless of what is going on outside of us, nothing can affect us, because my freedom is not bound by anything out there. It is not secondary causation. It is not an effect. It is a cause. My freedom is a cause. Ernest Holmes also says, I always try to pull Ernest Holmes quotes, and I have this big list of Ernest Holmes quotes. And I was up last night. I woke up in the middle of the night at like 1 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. And so I got up and I was just going through this list, and it's sectioned out by topics. And so I read all of the quotes in this list of Ernest Holmes on freedom. I won't say it's all of his quotes on freedom, but it's a lot. And I just found quote after quote after quote, because Ernest was so committed to this idea of freedom and the fact that freedom is a God quality, and freedom is our divine birthright, the divine birthright of every single individual, all of life. And so he says the divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All instinctively feel this. The truth points to freedom. And he goes on from there. But that is who we are. Freedom is not something that we have to obtain. It is who we are at our core. And so as we're talking about this journey to freedom, often this journey is not a physical location. You know, Harriet Tubman was making this very real hero's journey to freedom over and over and over again. However, sometimes this journey to freedom is just simply settling in and returning to the truth of who we are at the core of who we are. And so as we think, and that journey still includes looking at the things that we're most afraid of and facing those fears and allowing that which no longer serves to die away. And then there lies the freedom. And so freedom is not something that can be taken away from us. Freedom is not something that we have to go get or journey to, but rather it is something that is revealed, that is already at the very core of who we are. And we simply have to remove all of the blocks and bindings and blinders that we have put on that have made it so we can't see the freedom that is there. It is who we are. And so I ask you today, how committed to freedom are you? Are you so committed to freedom that you are willing to die the parts of you that are not serving who you are at the center of your being? Are you willing to let those die, to let those fall away, to allow that freedom that is who you are to be revealed? In a ham and egg breakfast with scrambled eggs and, you know, a slice of ham and probably some toast and stuff like that, the chicken was involved in the breakfast, but the pig was committed. So are you committed to your freedom like a pig is committed to a ham and egg breakfast? That is my question for you today. And you know, as we continue in this theme of Black History Month, and, you know, we're talking about Harriet Tubman and all of these amazing people, we've been talking about the amazing people in our community and in our lives who have influenced us. And so I want to invite us now to speak up more of these people. And who have you seen? What Black influences have you had in your, thank you, Terry. Terry said weird analogy prize. What Black influences do you have in your life that you really see stepping up to the plate when it comes to this hero's journey to freedom, and really so committed to freedom within themselves and within the world? Because this freedom within ourselves is we are only as free as our least free person. And so we're all moving in this direction together. So I'm opening this time for Tell Us. And I know that one of our beloved community members is Duke Height. And so I want to specifically bring his name in and ask if there's any stories about Duke or anybody else that you would like to mention today in our continuing celebration of Black History Month. Raise your hands. Jen, do I see you raising? Yes, okay, yeah. Go for it.
I didn't know I'd be first, but that's okay. I wanted to mention Reverend Raymond Anderson, that he certainly is a powerful example of someone who's really walking their talk and living from integrity and finding freedom. And I just wanted to let everybody know that he had his ordination panels this past week and he passed. So at some point there will be a celebration when it's safe to gather. And, you know, he's been a wonderful resource for this community. Any kind of racial issue, he says, come to me and I will help you understand. I'll help, you know, he's willing to be that guide. And that's a real gift, because I know not all people of color want that role. It's kind of like, people that aren't of color should figure it out and educate themselves. And but he is very gracious and generous with his time and his knowledge and just his amazing consciousness. And so I wanted to mention him. Duke, amazing consciousness. Just such a dear, just such a dear person. And yet when most people first meet him, he came across kind of gruff, but boy, he had a real tender side, and just truly such a blessing to this community. He's just so steadfast, just solid, like a solid foundation for us, his presence and his consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you for mentioning Rev Raymond. He is so generous with his time and his energy and his attention, and I believe he is definitely one of those people that is so committed to freedom that he is committed to being that helper and mentor in other people's hero's journey of revealing that freedom, and in the collective country's journey towards freedom that we are all headed on together. Who else would like to speak? Oh, Janine.
I can't believe this hasn't come up yet when we talk about Duke. So I'll say it. If it's already been said, then it will bear repeating. But Duke was famous for a reflexive question that if anyone asked or said something in his presence that had even a sliver of complaint or perhaps not perfect consciousness in terms of what's possible, Duke's response was always, if you think so, if you say so.
I love that. I love that. If you say so. We are so powerful. Who else would like to say something? Nancy, I see your hand up. You're muted, darling. You gotta unmute yourself.
I was saying, I remember one of Reverend Anderson's talks that really made an impact on me. He had an injury to his hand, and the doctor told him, you're never going to use this hand the way you want to. And he did sign language. He would teach sign language. And he said, you're not telling me. I'm going to do this. I am going to use my fingers. And he practiced and he practiced and he practiced. He knew within himself. He didn't have to listen to somebody on the outside telling him what he couldn't do. He knew it on the inside what he could. And he did. And I thought, wow, if he can do that, so can I. So I really appreciated that.
Tell me again who that was.
Reverend
I didn't
Anderson.
cut out just. Oh,
Ray
Reverend Raymond.
Anderson. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. I have not heard that story before.
Yeah.
Anybody else? This is our last Sunday of asking this particular question of tell us. Oh, Ed, I see your hand.
I'm hard of hearing and I missed this. Would you say again what the question was that you're asking people to talk about?
The same question that we've had for a couple of weeks about Black people who have been influential in your life. And I specifically asked for Duke Heights stories, if you have any that we haven't heard.
Well, probably I don't have anything that you haven't heard too. The whole time I knew him was my best friend. And I've talked about this before. I was with him when he died. And I still think of him every day. Going into this Hyde Hall and seeing his picture up too. So I just love him still.
Yeah, he was amazing. I can just see y'all like, I have all these pictures in my head of y'all hanging out together. who knows if they are actually accurate pictures, but I have them in my head. Anyone else? Last call for stories and thoughts.
Yeah, hi, Richard Farrar coming. Yeah, speaking of Duke, and this is kind of, it's a little thing. It's kind of funny though. The last several years, Duke was heading a men's group. Every 2 weeks, several of us guys get together and we'd discuss different metaphysical books. We'd all take turns reading passages. And so every 2 weeks we got together, right where you are, you know, in the office there. And it was our turn. We take turns on a round-robin basis buying pizza. So one time, Peter Pomeroy, he passed away about 6 years ago. Ed certainly knows him. He was part of that group for a while. So he came and he had 2 boxes of pizza. He brought them in and he carried them like you'd carry books to the side. And I remember Duke getting very upset about that. Peter, what are you doing? The pizza's going to get, you know, you're carrying it like books instead of, anyway, it's a little thing, but I remembered it fondly. And the pizza tasted just as well. Anyway, that is part of my memory.
Thank you so much for sharing that story, Richard.
You're
I
welcome.
love that.
Nobody till you've been scolded by Duke.
Yeah. Never carry pizza like a book. Or a box.
Thank you.
Everybody, yeah, that's really cool. Now that story I don't remember.
Yeah.
After
Hanasora, did you have a story you wanted to share?
just not so much a specific thing that I recall right now, but after everybody had left, and I used to do the ending things with the bookstore and things in the previous sanctuary and such. And Duke, he'd still be in his nest in one of his offices, you know, in the one in the corner, and he would just think out loud the way Ed has talked about he did at the end of his life. He would talk. I would try to find something, a post-it stack or something, and he would to take notes, and he would just share thoughts, teachings. I would just stand there like a plant and photosynthesize. And such a gift. I'd be so physically and mentally fatigued by that point. It was 1:30, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I was starved and sleepy and fatigued and body, mind, and soul. However, I'd stand there next to his desk and he's sitting there, and just, it would happen once in a while on those Sunday afternoons. I treasure that.
Oozing wisdom out his pores.
Just oozing. Well spontaneated that. Yeah.
Thank you, Hanasora. Tim and Suzanne.
Hold on a second. Janine mentioned Duke's favorite phrase was "if you say so," and he would say it a lot. One of my funny moments, though, I show up one afternoon and Duke's on about something, and God bless him, he'd been our track 1 teacher. So he's on about, I forget what he was, and I listened for a minute or two, and then I kind of leaned back in my chair and I said, well, you know, Duke, to quote one of my teachers, if you say so. He sat straight up in his chair and he said, is that all you learned from me? In that rough tone of his.
Very military.
He was, after all, a major.
Nice. Thank you so much, Tim. All right, I am now going to invite Lynn to sing a song, and then we are going to move into some prayer. So she has put the words in the chat.
Okay, yeah, this is Deep Peace by Douglas Wagner. Deep peace peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Ooh. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you.
And so I just invite you to allow that deep peace to move you into this time of prayer, knowing that this deep peace that is running waves, it is shining stars, it is this entire earth. This deep peace is also who each of us is at the very center of our being. And I know and affirm that that is all that is going on, is this deep peace, this divine space of love, this infinite freedom. This is the truth of who we are as the essence of the divine. And so what I know and affirm is that this deep peace moves us into the spaciousness where we know our freedom. We know that inherent divinity within ourselves. And we just breathe in the very breath, the very air that we breathe in is peace. The words that we speak are freedom. The actions that we take support this freedom for every person on the planet, for ourselves individually, for every person collectively. I know and affirm that each of us stands in our courage and faces that thing we most fear, to move, to reveal that freedom that is who we are, that freedom that is the cause of our being. And I just breathe that in. And I express my profound gratitude, the gratitude that wells up from that place within me and overflows into every cell, every pore, every part of my whole beingness is just grateful, 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 grateful. And it oozes out of me just like wisdom oozed out of Duke. And so I release this treatment. I release this word. I know that each of us is moving into the full expression of peace and freedom. That is who each and every one of us is. And so it is.
Deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I love that song. Oh my gosh, I love that song a lot. And now this is the time in our service where we invite you to bring your gifts of time, talent, and treasure. And if you have something tangible, feel free to grab that and hold that up close to your heart. Otherwise, just take your hands and put them up to your heart. Because what I know is that everything that is given to this center, it sets the law in motion and it goes out and spreads the good into the entire world. This center is doing so much good on this planet, and that all of it, everything that we give, is returned to us multiplied abundantly. And now, with your hands on your heart and perhaps your gift on your heart, I invite us to say our offertory affirmation together. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our spirits promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it. And so it is. And now I believe that all angles are here to sing again.
From you I receive.
To you I give.
Together we share.
And by this we live.
From you I receive.
You I give.
Together we share.
And by this we live.
Thank you. And Rich, would you like to bless our prayer requests and our offering?
Take a deep breath. Let it out. Know that all the prayer requests are already answered. Because our word is known in the mind of God. When we speak our word, the law already begins to act on that. making them come true. We're so very grateful for all the donations, contributions to the center. They say, come to the center. We are blessed, and they are blessed, and go out to the community and come back to us, multiply. And I give thanks that this is so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Rich. And once again, you are more than welcome to send your prayer requests into us. Ivor will show you that on the homepage in just a minute, not right this quite second when we do announcements. And you can also email at prayer@celebrationcenter.org. And now, Michael, would you like to give us some announcements?
I'd love to. Good morning, beloved community. I'm so very grateful to be with everybody this morning and sharing in our journey together. First of all, I'd like to ask if there's any first-time visitors who would like to introduce themselves and say how they found us. Please unmute yourself or raise your hand, and we'll give you that opportunity. Anybody out there?
I'm excited to say that I think I recognize everybody who's on the Zoom call. I've gotten to know all of you.
Wonderful. Okay, without further ado, let me continue. Reverend Chris's new class, Spiritual Principles and Practices, is open for registration. Reverend Chris, would you like to say something in that respect?
I would. Thanks for asking. So this class starts on Wednesday, which can y'all believe that tomorrow is March? Because I sure can't. So this class is going to be offered every Wednesday in March. It's only 5 short weeks, which I really love, that it's just kind of a short, sweet, really kind of packed full introduction to science of mind. And this curriculum, I'm so excited about it. I've taught it before in Napa. It is brand new curriculum out of Centers for Spiritual Living, our home office. And so it is not something that any of us have learned before. I mean, the teaching, of course, principle is principle, but it's a new way of introducing it. And so this class is really a great class for anybody and everybody. If you know nothing about science of mind, you will get a lot out of this class. If you have been in science of mind for your whole life, you will get a lot out of this class. And so I just invite all of you. It's been a while since we've had classes here, and I'm super excited to offer this. It's going to be a great opportunity to get to know one another on a deeper level. Y'all will get to see kind of how I teach and my style. So if you're curious about me, sign up. It's just a really awesome opportunity. And so I invite everybody and anybody to sign up. It is good for all ages, stages, and ideas. All right. And I run my classes, just so y'all know, very interactively. It is not just me lecturing for 2 hours. We are engaged. We're having discussions. Often the deepest, most profound stuff out of my classes comes from somebody else who says something amazing, not me. So I am so looking forward to seeing all of you there, and I will hand it back to Michael.
Okay, thank you. Ivor, could you share the screen, please? There it is, right on cue. Wonderful. All right, let's have a look at some of the recurring events, Monday to Friday. Every day we've got the daily morning check-in with Reverend Laurie, 9 to 9:40, followed by Gentile Yoga with Jen Fay, noon to 1:20. That's on Mondays. Then she's right back with Reverend Faith, 5:30 to 6:30 on Tuesday evenings with meditation. And then Jen's on the calendar again. Can you believe it? She's all over the place with another yoga session, 10:30 to noon. And then followed by Reverend Chris, 2:30 to 3:30 with prayer and connection circle. Thursdays, we've got choir, 7:30 to 8:30. Everybody's invited to join. I'm sure Lynn would love some new people to join in. And then Saturday, we've got chanting 9 to 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. So full week ahead. And I think also next Thursday, 7:30 to 9, we've got the Leadership Council, right? Yes. And everybody's invited to tune in for that. All right. And that's a wrap. Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I am so impressed. I forgot to tell you that the Leadership Council meeting was happening this week, but we actually have 2 meetings in the month of March. We have one this Thursday and then also one on Thursday, the 18th from 7:30 to 9. After that, beginning in April, it is going to be every 3rd Tuesday from 7:30 to 9. So we just wanted to change it up and see how much we could confuse y'all. But of course, everybody is welcome to these Leadership Council events. The first one is this Thursday from 7:30 to 9. And I will be sending out a different link for that. So if you're interested, hit me up so I can make sure to get that link to you. And I'll also put it out onto our email group so that everybody has it. But choir and all angles, y'all will be meeting on our regular Zoom, and we will have a different Zoom for the Leadership Council meeting. So just in case, clear as mud, right? Clear as mud. So finally, I believe it is time for our closing song.
This is a song the Celebration Choir has put together. It's the Come Together song by Lainey Bernstein and Michael Gott.
Come together, heart and soul, as we love together, young and old, as we sing together, together in one song. Come together. From different worlds we are drawn together. In our own way we can pray together. Together we are strong. I see God in you. I see God in you. You see God in me. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, trees in hand, we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are home. Together we are home. Together we are home. Together we are
What a treat to get to see the whole choir together. Thank you so much, Lynn, and thank you so much to all of the choir members. That was absolutely beautiful and incredible. What a treat. And so now I just send all of us out into our week to have heroes' journeys, just beautiful, brilliant, amazing heroes' journeys. And so at this time, we are going to say bye to our Facebook people. If you would like, feel free. If you're on Facebook right now and you would like to join us for our community Zoom, you can find that link at celebrationcenter.org. Scroll down just a little bit and there's a place where it says enter Zoom events, and that's where we are. And you are more than welcome. So let me stop our Facebook Live.